Welcome, everybody. Our podcast today is powered by Royalty Roofing, your commercial and residential roofing contractor experts. I'm Mel Scotero, Business Development Manager here at Royalty Roofing, and we're very honored and proud to have Martha Mork from Turner Construction, your project executive there. Welcome, Martha. Thank you so much for coming and having a little visit with us today.
Yeah, thanks, Mel. I'm super excited to be here.
Oh, good, good, good. So I want to do a little bio. Do you want me to read it, or would you like to just kind of do a little bio on your own? I'll do it.
Okay.
So I'm going to just read a short bio on Martha. Martha is a project executive for Turner Construction in Omaha. She's been in construction for 17 years. 12 of those years have been with Turner Construction. Her first project, I was impressed by this. Her first project out of college was the renovation of the Chiefs Arrowhead Stadium. Mm-hmm. That's fantastic. Since then, she has been an avid Chiefs fan, of course, and a passionate builder. Martha has worked in multiple market segments, including advanced technology, healthcare, education, and nonprofit. She is one of 4 girls, lots of girls, has 5 young nieces, and loves telling them about her exciting construction career. Well, before we get started, we have a bump.
Another girl.
Another girl, I know, how exciting. Your family's like, who's having a boy? Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
First of all, why don't you tell us what made you decide to go into this industry?
Yeah, absolutely. I always excelled at math and science, even from grade school. And I also was very interested in your typical building games, Legos, Lincoln Logs, if anybody remembers those. And I had guidance counselors that kind of pushed me towards an engineering school, engineering degree, which I did really like. But as soon as I realized that it would be primarily like a desk job, I was like, oh, no, I am too, antsy for something like that. And so when I was looking for full-time positions, Turner was building the new Yankee Stadium in New York, and I'm a native New Yorker and a big Yankees fan. And so I thought, man, I want to do that. That sounds so cool. And so I got hired on by Turner, and sports is a big market segment for them. And so, like I said, like you read, I was on the Arrowhead Stadium right out of school. So something about building a venue that you're also passionate about, the end result or the team that's going to play there, whatever, just really locked me into construction. I could
see that.
I couldn't imagine doing anything else. I love the aspect of fresh air. You're outside the majority of the time. All that good vitamin D. And it's, in addition to that piece, it's very relationship based, which, being business development, so much gets built with people that you like and that you get along with and that you trust.
Right.
And that's just has been a pretty natural thing for me. I think growing up with 3 sisters, you have to learn to get along.
Yeah, yes. And share if you could.
And share, oh yeah. Lots of sharing. Yeah. And so it's honestly just really been a natural fit, and I'm super excited that I fell into it.
Yes, I know. I could tell you have that passion in your voice and everything. So you've been in this field for 17 years. So obviously there's been some barriers that you've had to overcome or that you've ran into. Are there any that you want to share with us?
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. I really think the past 17 years, construction has changed so significantly, specifically for females.
Right.
Just in my first experiences to the experiences I have now. We recently had a women's resource group meeting within Turner. I say meeting, a gathering, and we asked some of the leadership in our business unit, myself among them, some just general questions, and talked about what our experiences were. And one of the questions I had for the group was, how many female bosses have you had?
Right.
And a lot of our younger staff, yes, you're my boss, or,
Right.
yeah, I have female bosses. But some of our more senior staff have never had a female boss, even today. And my very first boss out of school on the Airhead project was a female.
Awesome.
She was the project manager for then a mega build, $350 million project, which was super impressive. And I was very much in awe of her, career success. And it wasn't quite reciprocated. I think she was more tough on me
Right.
for not fitting the general mold, of the man in that role. And so I think maybe sometimes my bubbliness or
Oh, I see what
my
you're saying.
timidity or whatever was not what she was expecting or what she wanted to work with. And so it was a barrier early on, right?
Right.
But I persisted, and my kind of motto or strategy, I would say, is kill them with kindness. You're not going to get anywhere by reciprocating the negativity.
No.
And eventually you can get people to be on friendly terms with you, and then I feel like once you have that sort of rapport, you can work through things.
Right. They don't need to be a bulldozer or anything like that and
Yeah,
just kind of push you
right.
through or anything.
And people ultimately don't like that.
No. No, not at all.
And so I did ultimately find success with that boss. We were on great terms the rest of her career
Good.
till her retirement. Yeah, and she in turn became a champion for me.
Yes.
And I think that strategy has helped me infiltrate some of the other roles in construction too. Sometimes your gruff and tough construction workers, they enjoy the politeness and the calmness that sometimes a female can really bring to the table.
Absolutely. So you had mentioned opportunities in the construction industry. Are there other opportunities besides on-site roles?
Yeah.
So are you talking about C-suite opportunities or?
I would say opportunities throughout the business.
Okay.
Like the business is, there are different facets that help run what we do. It's not all on site, in the dirt, in the heat, in the cold, watching the physical work, right? We have a finance department, we have an accounting department, we have business development, we have scheduling, we have audiovisual or VDC teams, lots of folks that are maybe more inclined to the desk style work, right?
Right.
And so it's just the stereotype of construction being really, physically uncomfortable or really requiring a lot of physical strength. Those opportunities aren't the only ones that are out there.
Right. No, I see what you're saying. I mean, it takes a lot of teamwork and a different roles that everybody plays to make this building come to life. So,
yeah.
What's a typical day for you? So tell me your day. Like here this is what Martha does today, pretty much.
So right now it's very different from what I'm most used to. As you pointed out, I am expecting in July. And before I knew I was expecting, I took a travel assignment a couple hours east of here.
Right.
And my day-to-day then was, on site by 6:30, attending stretch and flex and safety announcements at 7 a.m. with the entire construction team, and staying late for meetings, 5:36 and later at night. And a lot of meetings at this stage of my career, a lot of client interface and trade partner negotiating, and walking the site, constantly walking the site, making sure safety protocols are being adhered to. And then also when site leadership is present and they walk around and people know that you're, not necessarily keeping an eye, but that you care and you're interested in that physical work, that always is a positive for safety improvement, quality improvement. So that was my day-to-day.
It's a little
like
different
4
now.
months ago. And so now the same client is deploying really similar builds in another area. And I had since found out I was pregnant and not wanting to travel.
Right.
So I support that effort remotely. So I do a lot of virtual meetings. So I'm back to kind of my desk thing, which is difficult. But I'm really involved in the project delivery. So what contract type and how we're pulling all of that together.
Right.
And again, still with negotiations with trade partners, with design team partners. So it's a little more exciting than just like sitting and listening to a virtual meeting.
Right.
It's more navigating those relationships remotely.
But I bet you're anxious to get back out there.
I am, yes, I absolutely am.
Yes.
It's nice timing. It does help a little bit because it's tough to be on your feet walking, multiple miles on a job site. But yeah, it's kind of nice that there's some of that flexibility and fluctuation in a career in a 6-month span.
Yep. It just popped in my head. I can just see you with your little baby girl, and she'll have a little pink hard hat on.
Yeah.
Be walking around with
Oh,
her.
yeah.
Not on site. Not on site.
No.
What are your favorite projects that you've worked on?
So the Arrowhead Stadium will always be at the top. It was a great team. Not only was it just an incredible venue to be a part of,
Right.
but the team was wonderful. I'm still very good friends with the majority of the people I worked with on that project. I'm actually going to the graduation party for one of the, the married couple that I worked with, their son. I used to change his diapers, and now I'm going to his high school graduation.
He loves to hear stuff like that.
But so that was always a big favorite. I'm trying to think of another one that would be similar.
Well, or just some of the local projects.
So I did a nonprofit project up in North Omaha with a much smaller team.
Yes.
And that was really fun. It was a young team with different levels of experience that really needed a lot of coaching, a lot of guidance. And that's one of my favorite roles to be in.
Right.
So that was really fun. I really enjoyed that. And again, really strong relationships cultivated with that team. We're all still very strongly in touch, which I like. And then another fun thing was that project had so many women in leadership roles. We actually won an award with Crew here in Omaha.
I remember this.
For all the
remember
connections.
doing the tour before it opened up. Yeah, it was great.
And that was, and again, the mission of that project, the mission of that building is so significant and was so meaningful that one will always stick with me too. That was really neat.
Great.
Yeah.
So I want to jump over to STEM.
Yeah.
I know you're heavily involved in STEM and it's really close to your heart. So why don't you tell me just a little bit, first of all, what STEM is, and then how you became involved in a little bit of, are you still involved, which I think you are.
Yeah.
And just what drew you to that?
So STEM, science, technology, engineering, and math. When I was young, it wasn't the term wasn't coined, and I think my male cousins were, the opportunities were more prevalent to them, and that was more of a natural career path for them.
Right.
Whereas now, and like 4 or 5 of my uncles are all engineers, right? And I didn't even know what an engineer was till I was, getting ready to pick a college. And so it's just kind of interesting, the messaging for me and my cousins. And so now I have nieces, 5, and I do have nephews too, just a few. But so they're very perceptive of what I do and the fact that it's a male-dominated industry. And they ask me, not how many women are on your job. They say, is there another woman on your job? and I just find that so interesting. Like I want the question to be how many, not is there.
Right. That makes sense. Yes.
But so that's made it, again, another natural passion for me is to make sure that, my sweet little nieces know and understand that these are opportunities available for you, and you can be really impactful in these male-dominated fields.
And this little one.
Yes, yeah. But so yeah, STEM has been, again, just a natural fit. And in Omaha, they do a really nice job. We have a group, Nebraska Women in STEM, that puts out a lot of opportunities for women to gather and to learn and to grow and to network with each other in different STEM industries.
Right.
And so that's something I try to attend those events and be visible for those groups.
Didn't we just have an event with this? No? Maybe I'm thinking of another company.
They do a conference every April.
Okay.
For women in STEM. It's a 2-day conference, and it's attended by, I think, 400 plus women,
Okay.
Omaha and Lincoln.
Yes, that's what it was. Yes.
Yeah.
Did you do it?
I didn't attend this last year. So at Turner, we have quite a few women, and so I gave my seat up.
Oh, yeah, that's good. You're like,
And
I've gone, it's your
yes,
turn, so
yeah.
that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Well, good. And then there was some award that you...
Yeah, so at this conference, I think it was just last year or 2 years ago, I
Okay.
should check. Turner was awarded the Women in STEM Company of the Year award.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That was really exciting and really meaningful for our
yes.
group. One of the key parts of our submission for that award is just the emphasis we put on hiring and retaining and elevating females within the company. So industry-wide, I'm sure you're well aware, we hover around 9 to 10% female in the construction industry.
Right.
Turner, here locally, we have, I think 27% female.
Wow.
Just here in Omaha.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yes, and you mentioned C-suite earlier,
Yes.
our senior leadership team, again, here locally in Omaha, is about 33% female, which is...
Impressive.
Yes, it's so nice to sit at that table and look around the group and know that it's a good, strong mix of varying backgrounds, varying opinions. It's funny, I can't help myself. When I sit in a meeting, I always do a quick count
I do that too.
of the demographic.
Yep.
And because it used to be one female and however many men.
Right.
And back then, even 10 years ago, you were like, yes, I'm the female at this table. I'm so glad. Whereas now, if you're the only female, you're like, I'm not glad that it's just me. Where is everybody else? And how do I get them here? And so being able to sit at a table, I had a meeting this morning, business development meeting, and there were 5 women and 5 men. And I was just like, oh my gosh.
This is fantastic.
Yes, it was so nice. Granted, there were 3 men on the call, but I still took that as a pretty good win. The industry is changing, and I'm really excited to be, at the forefront of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So I know we're in a couple organizations together. NAWIC is one, National Association of Women in Construction. I started with them, and I've been in that organization off and on for several years. I'm on the membership committee right now, and it's really fun.
Run the membership
I run it.
committee.
Yeah, we're having some fun with that. And now you're a director. So tell me a little bit your role in NAWIC, and maybe is there a special project that you liked NAWIC to take on, or anything like that?
So I've been a member of NAWIC here in Omaha for a little over 3 years. I'm our corporate member, which is really nice. I like having that kind of tag.
Yep.
I've always thought the Block Kids event that we do here locally is bar none.
I agree 100%. I love that event.
Yes. And then, of course, we just wrapped up WIC Week about a month ago. And that is another one that's really impactful for the local community, just to get our name out there.
Absolutely.
And so part of why I wanted to run for the board and be involved at that level is we're hosting a spring forum for our Midwest region in 2026.
Yes.
Yes. Pregnancy brain.
We should check this.
And I wanted to be a part of that. I wanted to make sure it was a success, both for our local NAWIC chapter, but also for Omaha. Get some good visibility out there. So I'm looking forward to that. The other piece is I noticed there weren't very many. I mentioned how many women we employ at Turner, and I noticed there aren't very many who are active in NAWIC.
Yes.
And I know that NAWIC can be really instrumental for some of those early growth opportunities, early leadership opportunities, and networking. And I wanted to make sure that NAWIC was an organization that was worthwhile to some of our junior staff and really pull them in and get them involved. I think a few folks are
You did a good job.
on your
You're on my
committee.
committee.
Yes.
So, yes, and you're doing a great job.
And I think that that's a need for the area.
I do too. And it's great seeing so many people from different parts of this industry. I mean, you have the contractors, you have the electricians being represented, and roofing companies. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And I just, come to one of the events and you'll see what an incredible group it is. But you're also in Women in Healthcare.
Yes.
Are you on the board on that one too?
I am.
Okay.
Yeah. That one they had a board position open midterm and needed a quick fill-in, and I could do that. But yeah, another really powerful and exciting group of females. That group is pretty fresh in Omaha.
It is. It's like 2 years old
2 years old.
Yes.
It does have a large national base, which is always good. But the women that started it noticed that there just wasn't a venue or an avenue for women in healthcare to connect, to get together and work on their mission here in Omaha. And so they started it up, and it grew quickly to I think 70 members, around 70.
I'm one of them.
Yeah, which just shows the need. And they do really nice events too. They pull people from different parts of, non-construction industry, I would say. But they really focus on developmental areas for women and leadership,
Even
speakers, things like that.
The last panel was self-care. That was a very interesting panel, and I had to leave a little bit early during the thunderstorm, but it was a good attendance at that one. So it's a variety of topics.
It pairs nicely with construction.
Yes,
it's a softer side maybe of what the industry can be.
No, you're right. You're right. Well, is there anything else that you want to share with us?
I don't know. I think you got it all out of me.
Well, thank you so much for joining me and sharing your information and the passion you have for STEM and NAWIC, and maybe we'll see you after this one pops out.
Yeah, if you can do a two person.
Yeah, part two.
Oh yeah.
Martha after.
Yeah. Thanks so much, Mel.
Yeah, we appreciate you coming by.